Detective Jake Holloway surveyed the crime scene, the flickering streetlight casting an eerie glow on the wet pavement. The rain had finally let up, leaving behind a sheen of water that reflected the neon lights of the city. Holloway adjusted the collar of his trench coat, the dampness seeping through, and took a deep breath. This wasn't his first murder investigation, but there was something about this one that sent a shiver down his spine. The victim lay sprawled across the alley, surrounded by discarded cardboard boxes and the distant hum of late-night traffic. It was a woman, mid-30s, with raven black hair clinging to her pale face. Her lifeless eyes stared up at the overcast sky, and her expression held a mix of terror and surprise. The killer had left no room for doubt, a single gunshot wound to the head. Holloway's partner, Detective Sarah Miller, crouched beside the body, studying the scene. She looked up as Holloway approached, her face grim. "What do you make of this, Jake?" He shook his head, raindrops falling from the brim of his hat. "I don't know, Sarah. This feels different. It's too clean, too deliberate. It's like the killer wanted us to find her." Miller furrowed her brow, glancing around the alley. "What about witnesses? Anyone hear the shot?" Holloway scanned the surroundings. The city's pulse echoed in the distance, but the alley seemed deserted. Maybe the rain muffled the sound. "Let's talk to the neighbors, see if anyone saw or heard anything unusual." As they canvassed the area, questioning residents and business owners, a flicker of movement caught Holloway's eye. A figure darted into the shadows, disappearing before he could identify them. He nudged Miller, subtly nodding in the direction of the elusive silhouette. "Did you see that?" he asked, his senses on high alert. Miller nodded, her hand resting on her holstered gun. "Let's check it out." They moved cautiously, navigating the labyrinthine alleys of the city. The air grew tense, each step accompanied by the distant echoes of their own footsteps. Holloway's instincts screamed that they were closing in on something, but the darkness concealed their pursuer. A sudden clatter disrupted the silence, and they turned toward the sound. A metal door swung open, revealing a narrow staircase leading underground. Without exchanging words, Holloway and Miller descended into the unknown, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. The underground space was a labyrinth of tunnels and chambers, dimly lit by flickering bulbs. The damp air clung to their skin as they pressed forward, following the trail of uncertainty. As they navigated the maze, they stumbled upon a room that sent chills down their spines, a makeshift shrine adorned with candles and eerie symbols. "This doesn't feel like a coincidence," Holloway muttered, surveying the room. Miller nodded, her gaze fixed on the symbols etched into the walls. "Some kind of ritualistic vibe. We need to find out who's behind this and fast." As they delved deeper into the underground, the mystery unraveled like a sinister tapestry. The victim, it seemed, was connected to a secret society that dabbled in the occult. The killer left clues leading them through the dark underbelly of the city, hinting at a hidden world of power and corruption. The trail led them to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. Its rusted doors groaned in protest as Holloway and Miller entered, guns drawn. The air hung heavy with tension as they navigated the echoing space, their flashlights revealing the remnants of a macabre gathering, bloodstains, cryptic symbols, and a lingering sense of malevolence. In the heart of the warehouse, they discovered a hidden chamber. A figure, draped in a hooded cloak, stood in the center, surrounded by candles and arcane symbols. The dim light revealed a face twisted by fanaticism, a man consumed by a dark obsession. Detectives Holloway and Miller, the figure intoned, their voice echoing through the chamber. "Welcome to the culmination of your journey." Holloway tightened his grip on his gun, his senses on high alert. "Who are you, and what's this all about?" The cloaked figure stepped forward, revealing a twisted smile. "You stumbled upon a world beyond your comprehension, Detective. A world of secrets, power, and sacrifice. As the conversation unfolded, the truth emerged like a specter from the shadows. The victim, a member of the secret society, had sought to break free from its clutches. In a desperate bid for freedom, she had planned to expose their nefarious activities to the authorities. The society, unwilling to let its secrets be unveiled, had marked her for death. The cloaked figure, the society's enigmatic leader, reveled in the chaos. Your world is built on illusions, detective. We are the architects of reality. Embrace the darkness, for it is the only truth. A tense standoff ensued, the detectives facing off against the cult leader and their fanatical followers. The warehouse became a battleground, the air thick with tension as gunfire echoed through the cavernous space. In the chaos, Holloway and Miller fought not only for their lives, but to unveil the dark conspiracy that gripped the city. As the dust settled and the echoes of the final gunshot faded, the truth lay exposed like a wound. The secret society, with its tendrils woven into the fabric of the city, crumbled into obscurity. The victim's sacrifice became a catalyst for justice, a beacon illuminating the shadows that lurked in the corners of society. Detective Jake Holloway, rain-soaked and weary, stood amidst the wreckage, the city's heartbeat returning to a steady rhythm. The case was closed, but the scars it left lingered, a reminder that even in the darkest alleys, justice could prevail. As the first light of dawn broke through the clouds, Holloway and Miller emerged from the warehouse, their steps weighed down by the gravity of the night's revelations. The city, oblivious to the horrors that had unfolded beneath its surface, began to stir. The secret society was no more, but the echoes of its malevolence lingered in the minds of those who had glimpsed the abyss. Detective Holloway cast a final glance over his shoulder at the city, a place where shadows danced in the corners and secrets lay buried beneath layers of concrete and steel. The rain had started again, a cleansing shower that washed away the sins of the night. Holloway knew that the darkness would always be there, lurking on the fringes, but so would the flicker of light that he and Detective Miller had brought to the surface. As they walked back into the waking city, their resolve remained unbroken, and the truth they had uncovered would serve as a beacon against the encroaching darkness. In the days that followed, the city began to heal. News of the secret society's demise spread like wildfire, sending shockwaves through the community. The remaining members, scattered and disoriented, faced the consequences of their actions. The city's law enforcement, fueled by the revelations of the underground labyrinth, worked tirelessly to ensure that justice was served. Holloway and Miller, hailed as heroes by some and skeptically observed by others, continued their duties. The case had taken a toll on them, leaving behind a sense of disillusionment with the city they swore to protect. Yet, in the quiet moments between investigations, they found solace in the knowledge that they had exposed a malevolent force and brought it to its knees. However, the shadows are persistent, and secrets have a way of regenerating in the dark corners of society. A few weeks after the resolution of the case, Holloway received an anonymous tip. It was a cryptic message, leading him to a dilapidated building on the outskirts of town. Despite his initial hesitations, the veteran detective couldn't shake the feeling that the story was far from over. Miller, ever the loyal partner, joined him on this uncharted path. Together, they entered the forgotten building, guided only by the dim light of their flashlights. The air hung heavy with anticipation as they navigated through dusty corridors and decaying remnants of what once might have been a grand structure. The tip led them to a hidden chamber, eerily reminiscent of the one in the warehouse. Candles flickered, casting elongated shadows on the walls adorned with symbols. In the center of the room stood a figure, clad in a hooded cloak, their features obscured. "It seems you are not easily deterred, Detective Holloway," the figure intoned, their voice sending shivers down his spine. Holloway tensed, his hand instinctively reaching for his gun. "Who are you, and what's your game?" The figures stepped into the light, revealing a face that mirrored the one they had confronted weeks earlier. "You believed you could extinguish our influence so easily? You've merely scratched the surface." The revelation hit Holloway like a physical blow. The secret society had not been eradicated, it had adapted, evolving in the shadows. The figures spoke of a deeper conspiracy, a web of intrigue that extended far beyond the confines of the city. "We are the architects of reality," the figure echoed, a haunting smile playing on their lips. "And your reality is about to unravel." As the enigmatic words hung in the air, the room seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. The detectives, now caught in a web of uncertainty, faced a new challenge, one that transcended the boundaries of the city and reached into the very fabric of their understanding. The story of Detective Holloway and Detective Miller had taken an unexpected turn. The city, once a backdrop to their investigations, now emerged as a battleground between light and shadow, truth and deception. As they delved deeper into the unraveling mystery, they realized that the forces they faced were not easily subdued, and the darkness that clung to the city's streets was far more pervasive than they could have imagined. The tale continued, each revelation leading to more questions than answers. The detectives grappled not only with the tangible threats that lurked in the shadows, but also with the intangible specters of doubt and mistrust. As they pursued the elusive truth, they questioned the very foundations of their reality, wondering if they were pawns in a game orchestrated by forces beyond their comprehension. And so, Detective Jake Holloway and Detective Sarah Miller ventured into the unknown, their resolve unbroken, their determination unwavering. The city, a labyrinth of secrets and intrigue, awaited the next chapter of their story, where the line between justice and darkness blurred, and the true architects of reality remained hidden in the shadows.